Thanks for joining us today. Um, just a couple of quick questions regarding Oracle's social CRM strategy, and you're going to give our readers a overview of what Oracle is doing with social CRM and whether you think companies are ready to get on the social networking and knowledge sharing.
Sure. Yeah. Well, so social CRM is really a pretty broad set of strategies. The reason that we built social CRM is quite simple, that we believe that CRM systems have done a very good job managing direct or indirect relationships that exist between a company and its customers. And increasingly, customers want to talk to and communicate with other customers. And so the models that we have in CRM systems enable salespeople, marketing people, and customer service people to model organizations and households, but they don't really have the structures to enable the social map to be created and defined. So what we're doing is really a number of things. The first things that we're doing is we're expanding the underlying structures of CRM to support customer to customer. And so customer to customer relationships can be defined in two ways. They can be explicit relationships in that they are defined based on who knows who, and they can be implicit relationships that basically are based on who's like who. And so we want to make sure that we provide our customers with mechanisms that enable them to relate like items together, not just customers. So for example, there may be opportunities that look alike. There may be service requests that look alike. There may be campaigns that look alike. And these implicit relationship structures can have a very significant impact on the business processes. So if you're going to buy a particular product and you want the opinion of somebody, you really want the opinion of somebody that looks like you. And the companies don't facilitate that, so in the absence of it, you go to Facebook or LinkedIn or MySpace and you try and dig around until you find somebody that has an opinion. Most of the time you get somebody that doesn't look like you and you're very frustrated with the response. So, social CRM has to first listen to the existing channels where conversations are taking place, and secondly, and I think more importantly, is leverage the data that they already have to stimulate and drive more meaningful conversations. Your second point is, are customers ready for this? I put the customers really into two very different categories. As with any new concept or transformation or discontinuity, there are people, not companies, because companies are really collections of people. There are people who want to be first, and there are people that don't. And social CRM is an environment that has potential, and there are good examples of where it's worked well, and there are many where it hasn't worked well. So today, social CRM is really being adopted, I would say, by the early adopters, and it's still much more of an experiment with both positive and negative outcomes. The early and late majority will come, I think, once the problem has been well defined, both in terms of a business strategy as well as a technology. So really we're sort of working with a small number of what we would call early adopters.
From what I see right now, there are a couple of companies out there where they're basically experimenting with some of these off-the-shelf tools. You know, they're using Facebook internally, they're using some of their own tools internally. So, and these cause some security issues for them sometimes as well.
Of course.
So, what do you think about companies actually making use of these tools and thinking, you know, this is all we need, and you don't really need anything else, you know?
Well, so I think you've got to be very dangerous. Facebook was created as basically a social networking site for people, for consumers to converse. And so the Facebook data model is very, very simple. Facebook doesn't understand security, enterprise security, it doesn't understand enterprise business process, and it doesn't understand business context. So in the absence of a system today, people may try and use these consumer-based applications. The real market, I think, is a market that Oracle can drive. So Oracle has capabilities much like Facebook in its applications that are consumed with enterprise-level security based on an enterprise data model based on business process. So if you look at some of the applications we have today, like Web Center, in Fusion Middleware, we have capabilities there for people to collaborate, for people to relate, for people to bookmark, for people to tag in the context of an application. And so really, you know, when you look at sort of these companies who are trying to build either social CRM applications or leverage consumer-based applications, they lack those things. So while people may be experimenting, I think the market will basically settle much more on the enterprise market will settle much more on the enterprise context than on the consumer context.
You talked about tagging and stuff like that. Sometimes, there is a lack of willingness on the part of employees to share that kind of information, even especially among salespeople, right? They probably wouldn't want to share contacts with one another.
Sure.
So, do you think that is actually one of the main barriers, or rather some of the cultural barriers that might prevent social CRM?
No, I think just like the consumer internet, there's no difference. People generally like to get a lot more than they give. That's just human nature. There is always a small percentage that will spend their time giving, but it's a very small percentage. So while I think tagging on the inside of a company will be of value, it will look very similar to tagging on the outside of a company. There'll be a small number of people that go through the effort, and most everybody else will take. What we're trying to do, because we have context, is auto-tag. So for example, we have a product called Sales Library, which is a tool for salespeople to share presentations. And actually we can generate tags automatically. And what's nice about PowerPoint is it actually is a very good system to generate tags, because you have a title slide. And on the title slide, your font is larger for the things that you want to express and smaller for the things that you don't want to express. PowerPoint can tell us whether it's a main bullet or a sub-bullet. We can basically look for particular product names, because the CRM system or the enterprise system knows what a product is, because it has a product master or a bill of materials. So what Oracle can do, and what we're doing, is basically creating not just sort of tags that are created by people, but increasingly tags that are created by the system itself.
Okay.
And me a last question?
Yep. So moving forward, what is the product development roadmap for social CRM?
Well, so this week we've basically been previewing two major new versions of our application, Siebel 8.2, that's going to be coming out this fiscal year, and CRM On Demand Release 17, again coming out this fiscal year. Both of those have a lot of capabilities in and around social CRM. We've announced a brand new social CRM application, Sales Campaigns. So there's really a huge amount of work that's being delivered by us and consumed by our customers.
Thank you very much for your time, Anthony.
Thank you.
Thank you.